Welcome to GRCAM Monthly Virtual Interactive Conference. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. This is considered Side A. The theme, America's Collapse, is coming for Black people, where YouTube Live time, 2 p.m. American Central Time, 3 p.m. Canadian Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 9 p.m. South African Time, 10 p.m. East African Time, and 8 p.m. UK Time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe to my YouTube page. Before I go into my presentation, let me explain to my listeners why we hold these monthly virtual interactive conferences in the first place. We do this in order to recruit our listeners to become GRCAM members, first and foremost, as well as to raise funds for our film project, quote, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. This film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group, Black Americans who identify themselves as DAS-FM. That stands for Descendants of American Slaves / Freedmen. Shout out to Sister Renee, who has been working with me from behind the scenes for the past 14 years. If only I had more people like her, working with me and all that, we could move this thing much faster. But hey, I'm grateful for her. I just wish that more other people would step up and get involved. Because after all, this is not for me. This is for our children. African children and Black children globally. But right now we want to focus on domestically within the United States of America. Again, for credibility before we expand this business to the African continent. We host our monthly virtual interactive conference on the last Saturday of the month in order to interact with our listeners and to raise funds for our film project. We use 3 crowdfunding sites: GoFundMe, Buy Me a Coffee, and PayPal Giving Fund. Once we raise the $250,000, then I will encourage those of you who are seasoned filmmakers to come to Chicago, so that way we can begin hosting auditions for roles in this docudrama. Once I finish my presentation, then I would turn the broadcast over to my panelists, which is called Side B. And again, shout out to them. If they're able to make it, cool. If not, that's fine. I hold it down myself. Bottom line, I'm just doing the best that I can. That's how come I do. I'm doing it now live on YouTube because I want people to see what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's recorded. And I want to make sure that nobody else, especially GRCAM members, would never have to go through this type of foolishness that I'm experiencing. It's not cool at all. It's a straight up turn off, but somebody got to do it. Now, after they share their perspective about the film, then we will drop the StreamYard link in the chat room, so that way those of you, my audience that's listening, you can interact with us in real time, get on camera. You can ask me direct questions. It's going to be called Q&A. You can ask me direct questions or my panelists if they're still able to be on the panel. Again, the purpose: the grassroots community activist movement is dedicated to empowering and improving the quality of life for Black, Black Americans in Chicago and beyond through health, education, business, youth services, and cultural initiatives. Our monthly virtual interactive conference is meant to encourage our listeners worldwide. We want to recruit brave and smart, like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago, and brave and smart, like-minded African immigrants across the United States of America. First and foremost, for them to first um, help me get my revised book on that bestsellers list, for them to also read my story, but for them to work with me in that area, make arrangements with me to get on this platform so we can get encourage other people to get involved. So this also would let the Black world take us serious. You know what I'm saying? Once we get this thing on that bestsellers list, and that's a tangible right there. You buy the book, you get the book. Ain't no scamming over here, not at all. This is also would put me in a better position financially, so that way I can hire Black people, African people, and others. Just keeping it 100 at this time. I'm not making any money from my book sales, or making much money or any money from my virtual store. I wrote my book in order to recruit Black Americans who are interested in solving Black issues at the community level, as well as for Africans who are interested in solving African issues. If you're not interested in solving Black issues or African issues, my advice to you is just delete me off your friends list and go on about your business. I'm on here trying to recruit people that's interested in that. No games. I call upon everyone on my Facebook page, everyone on my Instagram page, everyone on my TikTok page, everyone on my LinkedIn page, everyone on my X page. I need you all to stand up. Please read my story first before you make any donations to the film project or anything of that matter. Read my story first. My ebook is available for $9.99 on Amazon. It's also available as a softcover book on Amazon. I have the link in the comment section below this audio podcast. So you can get that book from there, read it. My revised book is The Foundation of My Christian Business. I'm just trying to keep it real. So read my story first so that you can understand the seriousness that we are up against. Again, I'm not on here playing games. America is about to start World War III with Iran. We still have a window of opportunity left before things get worse in this country. My fellow Black Americans, the game, let me just say that again. My fellow Black Americans, at this stage of the game, you only have two choices: either embrace annihilation or embrace survival. Let me say that again. At this stage in the game, you only have two choices: either embrace annihilation or embrace survival. I'm only responsible for GRCAM members and their families. That's how come I'm encouraging people that purchase my book, that read my story. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, you will automatically become a GRCAM member. And that's what we want, because we want to get the ball rolling. I call upon like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago to please read my story and get involved with our film project so that I can be in a better position financially to hire Black people, African people, and others. That's all I'm trying to do. I call upon Black millennials and Generation Z to please read my story, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. It's available in 2 forms on Amazon, either as an ebook for $9.99 or as a softcover book for $15 plus shipping and handling. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, then you will automatically become a GRCAM member. I call upon like-minded African immigrants across the United States of America from 10 African nations. They are as follows: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. Yes, I understand that y'all came to this country to live out your American dream, but I need your help. Truth be told, I am unable to connect with my own Black Americans because a majority of them have become Americanized and have developed a narcissist type of attitude. And they have also taken on the colonizers' ways, unfortunately. Others have become holier than thou. Those are those ones that's supposed to be quote unquote super spiritual, that they are no earthly good. For 34 years, I've been reaching out to Black Americans, Black Chicagoans in real life and online. And a majority of Black Americans and Black Chicagoans tell me they're not interested. So, hey, I mean, it is what it is. I can't make people get involved with this if they are not interested. It is what it is. So I keep it moving. And my vision again is to help improve our low-income Black community or low-income Black neighborhoods. That's what we're going to do in my business. But mark my words, once we get this Christian business up and running and it materialize, mark my words, everybody in Chicago will want to come out the woodworks and want to be a part of our business. However, ain't nothing changed on my end. Those that have rejected me for the past 34 years would not be part of my business because this is membership based. And that also includes my own family members. I'm just keeping it real. If I'm like that with my own flesh and blood, how you think I'm going to be with strangers? Let me remind you, the reason why you were able to reach your American dream is because of my ancestors who fought and died during the civil rights era to help get African immigrants, Afro-Caribbeans, and other non-white immigrant groups to come to this country. Truth be told, the white supremacist financial elites only wanted white European immigrants here, nobody else. And that's just the facts. Do the research. I call upon the global African family who reside in Canada, Europe, the Caribbeans, and across the African continent. If you're serious about me expanding my Black Christian business, GRCAM of Chicago, to the African continent, then please help me get my revised book on that bestsellers list. So that way I can be in a better position financially to hire Black people, African people, and others. I call upon Black content creators and African content creators who have a large audience to allow me to come on your platform so that way I can promote my revised book and my film project to your listeners. This will help put me on blast and help get the ball rolling. What is the film about and the schedule? This docudrama is about my life experience growing up in a dysfunctional household and being neglected by my extended family members and put into the foster care system. I didn't even have a childhood. It is what it is. But um, I use my pain to want more for my racial group, Black Americans that's trapped in American ghettos. That's why I'm so passionate about connecting with other like minded Black people and like minded African immigrants so that way we can work together to build something for our own, of our own, for our people for them to enjoy. However, I have been getting a lot of pushback, not from white America, but from Black America because of this unchecked slave mentality within Black society. In my uh, Black Christian business, we will declare war on this slave mentality once and for all. This will be the most important film since Roots. Our plan is to complete pre-production, post-production, and prepare, quote, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins, for release. Here's a rough timeline of our project. Pre-production requires funding. Production requires funding. Post-production requires funding. Release. Targeting near the end of 2026 or 2027. With your support, of course, we can ensure a timely and impactful release that aligns with this significant film project. What's the budget? $250,000. In order for us to make a quality Black empowerment film, we have carefully considered the budget to ensure that every dollar is used wisely and effectively. Our budget breakdowns include expenses for production equipment and crew. Post production includes editing, sound design, and visual effects, licensing and archive footage, marketing and promotion, distribution, and and premiere events. Your contribution will be instrumental in covering these costs and bringing, quote, Hood Liberator, Made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins, unquote, to a global audience. Ladies and gentlemen, why do I care so much about this project? I am deeply passionate about, quote, Hood Liberator, Made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins, unquote, because our story has the power to influence our Black youth. This project matters because it's not just about preserving a legacy of a new Black movement. It's about recognizing the contributions of unsung heroes who laid the foundation for GRCAM. By sharing their stories and insights, we can honor their contributions and ensure that future generations have an accurate understanding of GRCAM and dealing head on with this Willie Lynch mentality within Black society. This docudrama is a testament to my commitment to building something positive for Black America and expanding it to Africa to give Black parents options where they would want to raise their children. With your support, we can make, quote, Hood Liberator, Made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins, unquote, a reality. Risk and challenges. I want to talk to you about the potential obstacles we may face while bringing this docudrama to life. Your support means everything to us, and we believe in keeping you informed every step of the way. First and foremost, there's the risk of not meeting our funding goal. It's a possibility that we've taken into account, but with your help in spreading the word about our campaign, we're confident that we can overcome this challenge. Now, when it comes to production, documentaries can be unpredictable. We might encounter unexpected delay due to various factors like scheduling conflicts or unforeseen issues with equipment. Please know that we're committed to staying adaptable and transparent with you throughout the process. Legal and licensing matters can be a bit of a maze. Obtaining the necessary rights and licenses for music, arch- archive of footage, and more can be complex. We will work closely with legal experts to minimize any complications. Post production, with its technical um, intricacies and creative decisions, may also pose challenges. We will hire a production company to have a experienced team in place to navigate this phase effectively. Distribution and marketing are keys to getting our documentary out there. We're already strategizing on this front and exploring distribution options. Your continued support and word of mouth will be valuable here. Lastly, your expectations are important to us. We promise to keep you updated regularly, share our progress, challenges, and any challenges to our timeline or scope. We welcome your questions, feedback, and ideas throughout this exciting journey. Thank you for being a part of, quote, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins, unquote. Together, we're overcoming these challenges and make this documentary a reality so that we can create future Black empowerment films. Supporters of our film project, make a pledge without a reward back because you believe in it and it speaks volume to you. It's my hope that the proceeds from the film will help put me in a better position financially so that I can hire GRCAM members to assist me in building the best Black Christian business within the United States of America, which will be the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. GRCAM Chicago will be a Black owned Christian business. Yes, I will own it, but also I'm going to give ownership to active GRCAM members, 2% of the company. And I'm going to work that out with my attorney and all that. And that's just keeping it real. Our aim is to strengthen Black families, create economic opportunities for Black youth, African youth, and their families, improve the low income Black community or Black neighborhoods by building a safer environment for our children, for our Black children to grow. We are in a tough time because the, the investment cuts from the Trump administration are intentional. It's not white America's responsibility to clean up our inner cities in Chicago. The CAM members will take the lead in cleaning up our low income Black communities and low income Black neighborhoods in Chicago. It's my hope that we can make Chicago a model city and encourage other Black Americans across the United States of America to join our cause, help stop the genocide in American ghettos. And basically, all that means is that we want to try to reach our youth. We want to work with work with broken families, not just sit up here and just talk about the issues. Not sitting up here just want to come around people when it's time to vote. We want to make that connection now. However, the reason it's taking me so doggone long is because I'm unfortunately like I say, Black Americans, they have become, I'm going to say, Americanized since the end of the civil rights era. Narcissist attitude, and have also taken on the colonizers' ways. That's the biggest problem. Biggest of it. The biggest problem of it all, though, is these black politicians that's selling our people out. Bottom line, I've been pushing this for the past 34 years, and that's enough. This is why I'm reaching out to the African immigrants here within the United States, as well as the global African family, to help get the ball rolling. So that way, once we get it popping here in Chicago, I can turn the business over to my management team, and I can expand it over to the African continent, starting in South Africa. That's all I'm trying to do. I don't want to die in America. I don't want to be just bogged down with Black American issues. My vision goes beyond the Black ghettos. But I need brave and smart people that's going to help me run this thing. The Grassroots Community Activist Movement, thank you for considering supporting our film project by purchasing my ebook and reading my story for yourself. That's a big start right there, because that way you'll know what you're getting yourself involved with. Everything I've written in that book, we're going to carry that out to the fullest. You will play a crucial role in supporting our mission to create quality Black empowerment films, to help us obtain seed money for our startup Christian business in Chicago, Illinois. Without your financial support, we will be unable to create quality Black empowerment films and offer valuable insight for our Black artists, African artists, and Black entrepreneurs and African entrepreneurs. Our aim is to equip our members and students with knowledge and resources they need to succeed in their personal life as also in their business ventures. By joining our membership, you will have access to exclusive content early, previews of our films, videos, and articles, and opportunities to engage with a community of like-minded individuals who share a passion for entrepreneurship and economic development. Your support will directly contribute to the growth and impact of the Black community and the African immigrant community in Chicago. Together, we can make a difference and unlock the potential of Black entrepreneurs and African entrepreneurs. I am a passionate content creator on YouTube dedicated to telling real stories, sparking conversations, and creating content that inspires and empowers Black Americans and African people worldwide. Your support means the world to me, and every coffee you buy help me get closer to turning my film project into a reality. It's my goal through this film to reach the Black masses and the Black world in order to change lives through my work. Join us today and be a part of this exciting journey in Black America, changing lives with a new mindset. We will offer different membership levels: basic membership, networking membership, and entrepreneur membership. GRCAM Networking Digital Wall is not just a donor role. It will be a living monument to our collective strength. By adding your name to the networking digital wall, it will be displayed on our website or our future website. With that, you are etching your legacy into the digital footprint of GRCAM of Chicago, ensuring that future generations know who fueled this movement. Everyone from personal to professional networks will know of your alignment with the values of GRCAM. GRCAM goal getters. Choose your membership. So number one, bronze, $5 per month. It includes you get a shout out at the end of auto podcast and video podcasts as a supporter, access to exclusive content not found on the internet, priority reply to comments, early access to new videos. Number two, silver, um, $25 per month. That includes access to exclusive content not found on the internet, behind the scenes of the film, get acknowledgement in the credits at the end of the film under producer, early access to the film opening, priority replies to comments, access to Q&A sessions. Number three, gold, $50 per month. This includes um, behind the scenes of the film, access to the business, access to my Facebook African group GRCAM of Africa and GRCAM of Chicago, access to exclusive content not found on the internet, get acknowledgement in the credits at the end of the film under producer, 50% discount on all our projects and courses in GRCAM of Chicago, member shout out, priority reply to comments, access to Q&A sessions. Number four, platinum, $100 per month. That includes access to promoting your business. We will mention them at the end of our videos, behind the scene contents, digital downloads, access to interviews and consult, consultations, access to exclusive content not found on the internet, 75% discount on all of our workshops and seminars, get acknowledgement in the credits at the end of the film under producer, prior, priority reply to comments, member shout outs, access to Q&A sessions. We have less than 3 years left to get this film project fully funded and made, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the way things are going with the Trump administration, once the Democrats regain control, I'm going to say, of the midterms, because of the Trump administration, what they're doing, the American people are sick and tired of it. Keep in mind, the Democrats are not our friends. I'm not saying the Republicans are, but the Democrats has proven themselves not to be a friend of Black Americans. They legislate in a lot of cases against us for the betterment of everybody else. When they get back in office, do you think they're going to make us a top priority like they did with the immigrants? Do you really think that they will give us an anti-Black hate crime bill or give us our reparations? They're going to undo everything the Trump administration has done. They're going to reopen those borders again. They're going to allow illegal immigrants back into our communities and neighborhoods. So the Kai of Chicago's mission to help clean up the low-income Black community by eradicating urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, spiritual development, and hosting African tours. Advocate for Black Americans who identify as DASC FM, descendants of American slaves / freedmen. Promote Black economic empowerment, education, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and economic stability. Promote healthcare access and promote civil engagement and advocate for lineage policies and social justice. We will promote economic opportunities in the Black community and the African immigrant community by being an advocate and becoming an economic base. GRCAM Chicago will be a multi-purpose facility consisting of a nonprofit sector and also a for-profit sector, operating under 9 functions within the Black community. And those functions are: number one, a social service component, Number 2, a spiritual component, which is going to be optional for secular people. Number 3, a spiritual component. Number 4, an entertainment component. Number 5, entrepreneur component. Number 6, health and wellness component. Number 7, Black grassroots media component. Number 8, science and technology component. And number 9, travel and tourism component. Under the for-profit sector, it would be known as the red zone. We will offer a state-of-the-art recreational center, which will have bowling, high ropes, adventures, captivating game rooms featuring the latest video and amusements, stylish billboards, energetic dance rooms, and quality restaurants, various businesses, on-site child care, and an on-site music recording studio for our members and students making documentary films and stage plays. In addition, we will host family-friendly activities, including combination deals, birthday parties, weddings, and corporate parties and events, as well as karaoke. We will practice group economics in real time by pulling our resources together in order to create and control our own community grocery store, community healthcare clinic, and community housing. Because all of us need food, healthcare, and shelter. And again, this is how I'm going to make my bread and butter. You know what I'm saying? And that's how come I want to make sure I have smart people that's going to help me run this business. We will offer rental space for members who have went through our business programs. Under the nonprofit cooperative, we are a certified 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to opening the world of inner city youth through local cultural immersions, career development, and skill building, and eventually hosting African tours to 10 African nations. I already mentioned them. And again, each African nation that we visit, we're going to set up local chapters so that way we can do international trade with our brothers and sisters on the continent. However, I don't know if we can do that right now because of the way Trump, he's putting on tariffs. And again, a lot of this stuff is because Black Americans, for the past 34 years, if Black Americans would have embraced my vision and plan, I'm just saying back in the 90s, my goodness, I predict that this business would have been up and running in at least 10 cities now, and in at least 5 African nations. But I'm still on first base, ladies and gentlemen. And again, without financial support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, I'm unable to do my job. And some of my critics might, ask me, Emmanuel, how long is it going to take you to get your film project fully funded and made? And all I can say is that's up to the Black grassroots and the global African family. The ball is in their court. Doesn't matter how bad I want this business up and running. And so this is the sad part of all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. That's why my business is going to be membership based. Those that just want to come around me once, the business is up and running and I'm hiring people and making money. I'm not trying to set myself up for that. I want to work with people. We want to get it from the mud. You know what I'm saying? Build this thing from the bottom up. So that's how come I'm not interested in writing more books. I want to create effective and successful Black Christian businesses to put money in our Black youth and African youth's pockets so that they can feed their families. Our objective is to invest in Black youth, African youth, through our business, access to culture, economic empowerment, or let me say Black economic empowerment, and transformative power by becoming a global citizens. We understand that active participation and hands-on experience are crucial for effective learning and personal growth. That's why our programs will be carefully crafted by a dynamic, stimulating, and interactive through a variety of en- engaging activities, workshops, and collaborative projects. We will foster an environment where our students can actively explore, question, and discover the world. We will create and produce films, stage plays, and music that address the concerns, interests, and culture of Black people and African people in Chicago. We will provide hands on production, education, equipment access for Chicago residents who are members of GRCAM. GRCAM Chicago will provide coverage of local events and give Chicagoans a voice by providing video training, facilities, and equipment for Chicago residents. GRCAM Chicago will empower Black Chicagoans to tell their stories, share their perspectives, and connect communities through media. We will provide the training, equipment, digital streaming, and on-demand content, and create short films, documentaries, and stage plays in order to reach audience around the globe. The vision of GRCAM Chicago is to build a bridge between the low-income Black community and the African immigrant community. Building this bridge is vital to the survival of Black Americans and African immigrants. Our main objective for Black Americans who become GRCAM members is for them to heal from this slave mentality imposed on our people during slavery by the white supremacist financial elites, and for African immigrants who become GRCAM members to heal from the colonized mindset imposed on them during colonization by the white supremacist financial elites. We will learn how to respect each other's culture, learn how to trust one another, learn how to do business with each other, so that way we can replicate this business model on the African continent. We encourage the diaspora to invest in African people and culture and helps assist in building the infrastructure Africa lacks, as well as bring our business development to Africa and vice versa for Native Africans to do international trade with our people within the low income Black community in order for there to be a win-win situation for both groups. Unlike Pan-Africanism, which was only one-sided and only benefited African immigrants and Afro-Caribbeans that come over here to the United States, GRCAM would take the lead to make sure that both the diaspora, African immigrants, and Native Africans will benefit from this business, and vice versa for those that's live in the low-income Black community, that they're going to benefit from this business as well. That's those are, who become members of GRCAM. Under our nonprofit sector of the business, it will consist of a cooperative, meaning those who are officially GRCAM members, officially GRCAM, I'm gonna say active members, will own 2% of the company once they are added to our database. And what I mean by that is that have their thumbprint. That's how I get down. I don't want just anybody in here. I want to make sure that when they come to our, once we have that physical building in the community, let's say, for example, on the west side of Chicago, we're going to cover Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. And so we want those community residents to know who we are and that we're there to serve them and help them, those that want more out of life. Well, they got to come in for mandatory orientation. They have to sign the community pledge, pass our criminal background check. And I want everyone that's serious about being a GRCAM member to submit their thumbprint to be placed in our database, so that way we can weed out anyone that would try to undermine us. We're M1 over here, meaning we're melanated first. Nothing else on earth matters. We're about solving Black issues point blank. When we bring it to Africa, our focus will be on solving African issues point blank. Our programs will consist of the following. We will offer associate's degrees in vocational training to our members and students. Automotive technology, cosmetology and barbering, commercial driving training, tech and trade will focus on fostering a supportive environment where Black girls and African girls and Black boys and African boys can explore careers in technology and trades. The program seeks to inspire confidence and competitive through hands-on learning experience, workshops, and community engagement. Birthright, Reconnecting to Africa. This program will focus on self-discovery and cultural exploration with our ancestral workshops. This unique and enriching program is designed to help Black youth reconnect with their roots and heritage. Learning to Fly in the Sky. This program aims to inspire and educate youth about aviation, engineering, and the thrill of flying. This program will introduce our students to the world of aviation through hands-on activities and mentorships from experienced pilots, just like our ancestors did during the Tuskegee Institute. Media service. This program aims to teach our students about marketing, media consultant, event coverage, and collaboration. Parenting classes. We will teach young adults how to care for their children, and we will encourage marriage and, just support their family as much as we can. Violent prevention programs. Our second will consist of our second chance program for street credibility. This aims at ex-offenders of nonviolent crimes, former gang members, depending on their, if they pass our, criminal background, and, long as, they ain't out there unaliving people and stuff like that. That's all I'm saying. But bottom line, the ones, if they're sincere, we'll let them in, we'll be part of the solution. And homeless individuals within our neighborhoods who want more out of life. We have we will pull our resources together to build a brighter future, help our brothers and sisters rebuild their lives, help the youth, and create awareness about the epidemic of genocide within our Black ghettos across the United States. The Black Rhino represents our relentless determination and willpower to overcome whatever obstacles we encounter. We are recapturing our dreams. We're learning through our journeys, and past does not have to dictate the future. We pledge to focus on a brighter future, which we will share in harmony and unity. We pledge to assist our brothers and sisters in every way we can, even if it's only a kind word of encouragement. We pledge to uplift one another and restore our lives, and we vow to deter from criminal activity at all times. Because over here we have clean hands. We ain't harboring no criminals. Know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. Financial literacy workshops, financial foundation for wealth creation, focus on the ability to manage personal finances through education about basic budgeting, investing, personal credit, real estate, retirement, and tax planning. In this course, students will learn to evaluate barriers to enter and potential markets using decision making tools like cash flow statements and budgets. Money mastery. That's going to consist of income, budgeting, and spending. So this will um, this will be known as the Green Zone. GRCAM Chicago will be governed by an advisory board. GRCAM Chicago will be membership based and operate for the mutual benefit of our members. Also, any earnings we make will be returned to our members in the forms of lower prices through our quality programs and services. We will assist our members with their utility bills pending on our budget and sponsorship. We will offer light groceries through our food pantries, drug rehab, and tutoring services for Black youth, African youth, and their families. Under our tours, under our travel component, we will promote African tourism to to reconnect with our African GRCAM members and do international trade with the continent that uplifts local African communities. GRCAM members will have access to mentors building generational wealth, freedom, and legacy in Africa and vice versa. GRCAI of Africa will focus on helping GRCAM members from America with choosing the right city and neighborhoods to relocate to and or start their own business. Understand Africa's risk and realities about buying property and setting up businesses. This is for people who want a sustainable, purpose driven, and profitable business on the continent, not just another generic business course, but hands on experience with legitimate professionals that will be vetted. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody that's going to be a GRCAM member will be vetted. That's all I'm saying. GRCAM Chicago will help benefit Africa because we will form an alliance with African immigrants in the United States, starting in Chicago. And this is again for credibility because they're going to work with us here and we're going to replicate the business on the continent. In each African nation we visit, we will match Black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs, Black artists with African artists. So that way we can do international trade among our people. We also plan on setting up local chapters in each African nation that we visit. Our objective is to unite middle class, working class, and so-called underclass Africans with the diaspora and vice versa. The sooner we get this film project fully funded and made, the sooner I can turn my vision into a reality. I created my online talk show, quote, Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, unquote, to give people on my friends list who are artists such as comedians, fashion designers, filmmakers, models, musicians, poets, gospel singers, spiritual leaders, and upcoming entrepreneurs to promote their products and services to my listeners from the global community. And so after the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive. I teach them how to create their own podcast, YouTube channel, and help them teach them how to get that channel monetized, and also how to create a free Wix website for their online business or online ministry. So that's what I do. Um, let's see. Again, we want to help strengthen the black family and the African family through cultural, educational, and community infrastructure at the local level. We want to promote music, drama, fine arts, entertainment, sports, recreation, and other activities. Develop and promote annual festivals as community events for the benefit of local residents, where we present where we present our events. Pursue public and private grants, donations, and contributions to be recognized by the state and local taxing authorities as a nonprofit, faith-based, and community advocacy organization. Um, I am called by my Lord and Savior Jesus slash Yahshua to rebuild Black Chicago, similar to that of Nehemiah, who was called by God to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Nehemiah used qualified engineers, architects, and inventors to rebuild a new city. I am seeking qualified Black middle class professionals and African immigrants to be on my advisory board or resource team. They must have a 2-year degree or above in the following areas, such as Black attorneys, African attorneys, investors, real estate, um, Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and philanthropists. So those are who I want on my um, advisory board, ladies and gentlemen. So that's how come I want people to read my story first. If you believe you got the talents and skills that I'm looking for, make yourself known to me. Don't wait until I'm dead. Work with me while I am alive. Again, I'm not running for public office. Just trying to get this thing popping here in the city of Chicago because our Black youth, they deserve it. And unfortunately, Black Americans, we are failing our children. It's just that simple. We're failing our children. And again, I don't want to sit up here and say, look, I told you so and all this blah, 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 blah. I want to hurry up and get this thing off the ground. Again, it's not God's fault. He give us free will. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my revised book. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying items from my virtual store. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from donating to the film project. That's a personal choice, ladies and gentlemen. That's that slave mentality that says, I do not want to see Manuel Barbie have a successful Black Christian business. And that's fine, cool, no problem. This is how come I'm beating that drum loud. This is how come I created this platform, to broadcast my vision and plan to those beyond Chicago. Yes, I know that slave mentality is in every inner city in America. It is. But everybody is not affected by that garbage. Sister Renee, she's on my team. Cool, I'm grateful. But it has to be more than just her. This is why it's taking so doggone long. Got to come against that slave mentality. Okay, so in contrast, as it pertains to our film project, I'm looking for legitimate artists such as film directors, producers, actors, stage managers, professional fundraisers, technical directors, and marketers who can come to Chicago and join our film project team once we raise the funds, because we need boots on the ground. It's not about us on here just, and I'm not on here just to be hide behind no computer. I'm online to recruit brave and smart people. Know what I'm saying? So, um, okay, so again, for 34 years, I've been standing on Black business, and yet I'm still on first base. And again, this is unacceptable. ladies and gentlemen. And that's why once we able to get this business popping, well, like I say, we first thing first, I'm still pushing the book because it's still out there. That's just, that's the foundation of my Christian business. But this film project, this is, like I say, my last attempt, and I need to see how things gonna go. But we just got to get this thing popping. We have to move beyond the computer, and that's all I'm trying to do. We have made significant progress in spreading the vision and plan to the public through our Black media component, this platform. We need your support to take this project to the next level. That's the big screen, ladies and gentlemen. GRCAM Chicago will be about raising the bar in Black Chicago. We will separate ourselves from the enemy within. That is con artists, Black boule, degenerates, Democrat shields, hardened criminals, pedophiles, off-code Negroes, and urban terrorists. Once we have a physical building, then we will hold mandatory orientations, like I said, on the for local residents on the west side of Chicago. Again, as I mentioned in my revised book, we will cover Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. Then we will expand the business to the south side of Chicago. We will lay out everything on the table and let community residents decide if they want to be a part of us. Those that's not a part of us, we'll pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. Just being real. And we only want to work with those that want more out of life and have life goals. We'll have protocol in place to let con artists know that there will be consequences. I'm just letting you know. Read my story to learn more about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, all right. So, non-Black sympathizers are welcome to join us, not as groups, but as individuals. During our mandatory orientation, they must let us know where they stand as it pertains to lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves. Either they're for it or against it. I don't want to hear nothing else. Those that's against it, then hey, I just show them the door. Keep it moving. And those that decide to stay and want to be a part of us, they're going to have to pay a reparations fee. Know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. Community and connection. The Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago will help organize festivals, community gatherings, and live performances. Give our members, supporters, and community partners a platform to share their talents. Through community contributions, we will ensure these meaningful experiences remain accessible to our members. One of the benefits of being a GRCAM member is that local musicians will have an opportunity to have their music in our films and stage plays during live events. I'm just saying. Also, we will give, I would say, our youth an opportunity. I would say Christian spoken word versus secular spoken word, and whoever can flow the best will win. I would say $500 in cash, but that's once I'm able to get the business up and running and stuff. But right now, that's what I would like to bring. All of this stuff I'm talking about. But again, I prefer to get this film project fully funded and made so that way people can see it with their own eyes, And once the proceeds from that film start pouring in, then I can hire people. I can't hire no one right now because I'm not making any money, unfortunately. And I'm just keeping it real. Um, so that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to see. So our top 5 priorities are community safety, education, healthcare, economic justice, and social justice. Okay. So our aim is to help enhance the lives, success, and well-being of GRCAM members and the Black community in Chicago through our initiatives that address our issues such as disparities in economic development, health, education, senior support, business, technology, and youth development. Our online events take place every last Saturday of each month. It's our goal to empower and unite like-minded Black Americans, like-minded African immigrants, and others um, beyond the United States. This online gathering welcomes hundreds of guests from across the United States of America and across the globe in order to engage in solution focused workshops, build connections at networking events, and celebrate the richness of Black culture and African culture. I hope that my creator will connect me with the right people who have the means to help get this film project fully funded and made, so that way we can make our presence known in the Black community. So that's all we're trying to do, ladies and gentlemen. Our history before Occupy Wall Street movement, Black Lives Matter, ADOS, and FBA, there was a Black grassroots organization online called the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. After being ignored and overlooked during 2 years of my street ministry, um, I decided uh, to use a platform. Back in my college days, it was called Gopher. On November of 1991, I created my online group, GRCAM. It was designed for distributing research and retrieving documents on the Gopher site before the World Wide Web came about. It was a digital bulletin board where you could create online groups limited only to college students at that time. So I started off, I would say, as a blogger. Then I started to expand my blogging posts, which at that time it was called forums. I tried to separate my, I would say, my Christian groups with my secular groups. Then came, it's called Laxin. So anyway, I'm gonna spell it LYNX. Lexin web browser came about. Then following that came Netscape. The grassroots community activist movement was born. Our focus, or my focus at that time, was talking about issues on college campuses. Um, you know, wanted to talk. I got tired of seeing the negative images of Black people in the news. The stereotypes. It became a self-fulfilling prophecy. About our Black youth being locked up in the 90s and stuff. Every time they had, they were covering their faces and stuff, and that was quote unquote during the '94 crime bill that Joe Biden, help architect or help create. Okay. And so I got tired of seeing stuff like that and all the corruption that's going on in the low income Black community. I want to discuss serious, I wanted to discuss positive stories about us doing positive things by creating positive programs and services, um, for our community. So that's what I used to talk about, on my in my groups. And again, um, from college and things like that, I learned how to create nonprofits and for profits. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give back. You know what I'm saying? Not just give back with good speeches and stuff, but be able to put money in my members' pockets, and they don't have to run from no police because this is legit. You know what I'm saying? I don't do all that scamming and uh, my stuff is all I'm saying is I'm legit, and I want the whole world, especially the Black world, to know what I've been trying to do. And again, this is unacceptable. Being overlooked and all that stuff. When I got something positive, I'm trying to build. So that's what this is all about. I want to make GRCAM become an economic base within the low income Black community. You know what I'm saying? And I need people to understand that podcasting is more than just about sitting down and talking all day. Um, it's about turning those ideas into action, and that's all I've been trying to do for the longest. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to turn this thing into a film, because the book is already out there. And small-minded individuals that don't want to read it, that's on them. It is what it is. But I'm asking those of you that's readers, that's smart, brave, read my story. And make arrangements with me to get on camera, and let's encourage others to get involved. That's all I'm trying to do, ladies and gentlemen. So, for me, this is the most important film project in Black America. It's time to get our story out to the general public for the next generation. We have a new generation out here that needs to understand that our situation here in America is going to get worse if we don't confront this slave mentality head on. Because all these other racial groups, they're on cold. And this is why Black Americans keep getting, it's just horrible. We keep getting pushed down further and further. And these politicians, all this stuff is working against us. And now they're taking back our rights, that our ancestors fought and died for, during the civil rights era. And that's not cool, but hey, that's white supremacy, and that's what we're under. And if you don't, and again, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. I want to get this business popping. And again, I've been paying out of pocket for this business title since 2010. So that's 16 years. And I'm still on first base. So that's where we at, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm encouraging all of my listeners worldwide to please help us raise the funds for this film project. But first and foremost, read my story. Read the book. So that way you would know what you're getting yourself involved with. If you disagree with the vision and plan, my advice to you is to leave me off your friends list, go on about your business. Because I ain't changing my mind. God is my witness. I'm doing the best that I can. I know he has the power. I don't understand this, God, but I'm just trying to be obedient. But I'll sure be glad that He would bless me to get this film project fully funded and made, so I can hire brave and smart Black people that's going to be on Black business. And so that way I can turn the business over and expand it over to the African continent, get it popping there, tell my story, make sure that none of my members have to go through this type of foolishness. Again, we have to separate ourselves from these off-cold Negroes that ain't about jack, Is what it is. So those of you that's, I would say that's in my social groups, I've been asking you to come on here and all that stuff. I'm giving everybody an opportunity to, if they got a legitimate business, to come on this platform and promote it. And if you don't know how to use Zoom or StreamYard, I said I'm willing to teach you. So that's on you if you ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm still trying to work with people. But once this business is up and running, I'm gonna be out in the field. But right now, this is where I'm at. I'm only online. Let's see. So that's all I had to say about all that, ladies and gentlemen. Now my perspective about this film, quote, America collapse is coming for Black people, unquote. So basically, what I got out of the film is talking about building wealth on stolen land and stolen bodies from Africa. That's my ancestors. And just like what just happened, I believe it was on Thursday when the Ghana president, he came and he spoke at the UN and all that stuff. America, Israel, and Argentina, they were against, they voted against what he was saying. But a lot of other countries, I'm grateful that they agreed that, yeah, the transatlantic slave trade was the worst event for human in human history, and yes, all the stuff my ancestors went through. But the only thing, what I'm saying with them, with I would say African leaders and stuff, when they have to focus on colonization. They can't focus on slavery for reparation. Their reparation is geared toward being colonized because they still over there and they have their culture. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, they have to. I believe Ghana was colonized by Britain, so they have to get their reparations from the UK. And all those, it's really sad, but yeah, I believe it was 7 or 8, European nations. I talk about that before, that colonized Africa, but all those African nations, they need to, stand up and, I wouldn't do business with. If they don't want to give you reparations, then fine. That's how I feel here too, here in America. If the U.S. Government is on the hook, even though they saying that, well, that happened back then, and that was the law. Well, the law was still wrong, But hey, if they don't want to pay us reparations, how I feel about it is, hey, no problem. We can't make them pay, but we don't have to do business with them. That's all I'm saying. They're gonna give it to us. because they're gonna still want us to. Um, they still need our help. Bottom line, these white supremacist financial elites can't do nothing without having other people to help them. That's all that is. But like I say, my focus is trying to get brave and smart Black Americans and African immigrants to work with me to turn my vision into a reality. So that way I can move this thing from behind a computer. Because bottom line, it's going to get worse for our children. And that's how come I don't have any children. That's another topic, but for another time. But right now, all I'm saying is that it's going to get worse. And again, I only want to work with people that's going to be on code. You can't build with somebody that's off code. It's just not possible. And I don't want to work with someone that's off code. Got hidden agendas and all that garbage. And funky attitudes. I ain't with that. We want to heal over here. And again, a lot of Black Americans aren't in a position to just up and leave. That's because of their financial situation. And again, that's how come I'm trying to build this business here. In the inner cities, to try to work with families that want more out of life. Again, that's for credibility, a business. So it's not just a nonprofit, it's a for-profit business too. So, but again, I'm doing the best that I can, and I want the whole Black world to know my story, and just want to get the thing up and running so we can get it over to the African continent. Sooner, the better. That's all I'm saying. All right. So the other thing that I learned from this film, the housing trap, how the U.S. government created the wealth gap, and I talk about that in my revised book as well. Same thing about modern slavery / plantation under the 13th Amendment that gave rise to mass incarceration. So, according to what I have read, empires came and gone, just like the Roman Empire. They depend on the control of foreign labor and foreign resources. For example, during Europe's Dark Ages, they didn't have anything going on over there. Europe only became wealthy when they began exploring other nations like Africa, Australia, Asia, and the Caribbean, Latin America, and the New World. They made their fortunes off the enslavement of Africans and colonization. And that's a doggone shame. You know what I'm saying? And they brag about it because it's in the history books, but now they want to whitewash it. But it's too late now. We're in the information age. The American empire, for me, is the new Egypt. The current debt of the United States of America is $39 trillion. Meanwhile, our infrastructure is collapsing. Teachers in public schools are buying basic supplies for their students. These are all examples of a society that is failing. Now America has gotten itself into a war with Iran, and it will have a ripple effect. The United States of America is a violent country that comes out of a long history of genocide and slavery. Warnings regarding the collapse of America for Black Americans often focus on economic vulnerability and dismantling of civil rights protections and rising systematic racism, prompting calls for financial self-reliance, and increased civic engagement. So the main warnings include economic vulnerability. Reports indicates Black households are early indicators of economic distress, with rising unemployment rates and increased wealth gaps. Warnings highlights a potential of modern day Jim Crow affecting Black-owned business contracts. Systematic disinvestment. The National Urban League has declared a state of emergency for Black Americans, citing the erosions of DEI, which stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, reduce federal support for minority owned businesses, and the undermining of civil rights protections. Political and legal threats. Concerns are frequent raised about the erosions of voting rights, the appointment of conservative judges, and the potential targeting of Black communities through the removal of legal protections. Call to action. Activists encourage, quote, mass blackouts, withholding dollars from corporations that do not reinvest in the community during peak spending times to protest the leveraged financial powers. And that's good because Dr. King gave us that example about the Montgomery bus boycott. So that was very effective, and I like that. And that's one way how we're going to, you know, use as leverage, in this in GRCAM Chicago. Any business that's going to be in our community that won't hire, I would say Black people, then we won't do business with them. And you don't have to worry about that being illegal because it's your money. You have a right to spend your money where you want to spend it. So we're not going to break bread with people that's being racist towards us. You go in their stores and they want to follow you around and all that garbage. So look, a lot of these Asian businesses, they all in the Black community. Let them go over there in their own community, but that's how they're making it. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of Black people spend their money. That's how come I don't have my business up and running. That I want to hire Black people. This is for Black people. So again, I'm grateful that Kamala Harris lost the election because it's opening up Black Americans' eyes. And so, hey, this is, the Trump administration is making Black people wake up and realize that, hey, this is some serious stuff. 34 years. I mean, it would have been best if Black Americans would have embraced the vision, but now my goodness, all I know is that I'm gonna do the best that I can within my power to get this film project, out there, trying to recruit people to support it, and just do the best I can to make moves so that way we can get it pop. We got to get it popping here in Chicago first, like I say, for credibility, so that way I can bring it to the African continent. I believe I'm going to have the support when I go over there. People need jobs over there. They have a high unemployment right now in South Africa. That's what this business is all about. But I need brave and smart people that's going to help me run this thing. That's all I'm saying. Legitimate people. All right. So let me get back to about the talking about this film. As the American system faced structural instability. Black communities are disproportionately impacted by the decline and the advise to prepare for continuing intensifying systematic hostility. As I mentioned in my revised book, Black households are uniquely vulnerable to economic decline and societal instability, serving as an early indicator of wider economic distress. Warning emphasized that high inflation, rising unemployment, and potential policy shifts such as reduced social spending and civil rights protections could disproportionately affect Black wealth, employment, and safety. Key, key areas of concern regarding a potential society decline includes economic vulnerability. Black unemployment has shown a faster increase compared to other groups, leading to risk of stagflation and reduced job stability. Targeted policy impacts. Analysis have warned that proposed cuts to healthcare, food assistance, and educational funding, along with rising costs, could widen the racial wealth gap. Systematic inability. Increased reports of racialized hostility, threats to civil rights, and reduced federal oversight and policing have led to concerns about the safety and equity of Black residents. Historical context. Many Black Americans maintain a deep mistrust of U.S. institutions, viewing them as structural designed to hinder progress, a sentiment exacerbated by ongoing inequalities in health, income, and justice. Community leaders and analysis advise strengthening local resil- resilience, support of Black owned businesses, and active involvement in protecting voting and civil rights to mitigate these risks. The white supremacist financial elites unalive 80% of the indigenous peoples in the United States. The American empire is collapsing, ladies and gentlemen. This collapse is not just economic, it is moral and social due to the lack of protection the American public from foreign exploitation. For example, a large segment of the American people, quote, working class, feels betrayed by both political parties. Once the dollar is no longer the world's reserve currency, then America will fall. For example, the British Empire was a slow collapse from the end of World War One. We're not prepared. Our democrat, social, and cultural institutions are in decay. In America, we have easily and accessible stockpiles of weapons used in these mass school shootings since the early 1970s. America shift from an empire of production to an empire of consumption. America began borrowing to maintain both the empire and a lifestyle. Under the Reagan administration, corporations started gaining more influence. The famous phrase, quote, government is not the solution. Government is the problem, unquote. America has been de-industrialized because the white supremacist financial elite decided to send their manufacturing companies overseas to China, which was called NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, for cheaper labor, but that came with a price, collapse communities and the loss of good paying American jobs. The economic growth rate hasn't been this high in decades. The unemployment rate hasn't been this low in decades. CEOs of large corporations, their compens- compensation packages are tied to the value of stocks and bonds. Private companies create most of the jobs that most Americans have. A lot of Americans have been affected by this opioid and fentanyl. The rise of white nationalists in America since Trump's second term is on the rise. If we don't unify the American people economically, politically, and socially, then these pathologies will only grow. If these conditions go unanswered, then these pathologies will explode. The rise of social inequality in the United States institutions have become corrupt, weakened, and the courts has been taken over and is now being finished off with appointments by the Federalist Society, which is this ideological right wing group. America's already a failed democracy. We're witnessing mass civil disobedience in places like Minnesota with ICE protests. The two political parties, Democrats and Republicans, and a system that is completely captured by corporate power. What's coming down the pipeline, I can assure you, won't be good. The white supremacist financial elite has taken over institutions of government, turning the U.S. into a bankruptcy democracy, a system where corporate and military powers are absolute, while democracy procedures such as elections, media are reduced to meaningless theater. Cities like Chicago, Detroit, and New Jersey were once thriving industry hubs, but are now ruined by landscape characterized by poverty, crime, and crumbling infrastructure. Decline of morals as a result of the American society is broken and often no hope for the working poor. America are turning to self destructive behaviors. These pathologies, addictions, and gambling are signs a society has lost its social, moral, and cultural cohesiveness. For example, the staggering opioid crisis, which has unalived thousands of Americans annually, the decline in living standards of American citizens, the fall of Rome and the British Empire has outlived its hold on power. The same for the American Empire. Now I'm going to turn over the broadcast to my panel. And once they are done sharing their perspective, then we will drop the StreamYard link in the chat room for those of you who want to get on camera during our Q&A. So that's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to turn the show over to them. Please, if you don't mind, click. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I want to share my screen. Okay, here I am. Please follow me on my Medium page. Let that number grow. Only 94 people. That's not cool at all. Because I'm gonna stay back in 2005 when MySpace was still kind of popping and things like that. I used to network with 50,000 people there. When I was on there, I used to encourage people to exchange emails with me. A lot of people didn't do that, and once MySpace, I guess they shut it down or something. But I lost, all those people that I used to network with. Same thing with Black Planet. So a lot of people, yes, I understand is online, just on here to be playing games, and that's not what I'm on. I'm serious than the heart attack. On LinkedIn alone, I have 12,000 followers. So I want to encourage those of you that's on my LinkedIn page. please subscribe to my Medium page so that way, we could stay connected and also exchange emails. Same thing for people that's on my X page, my TikTok page, my Instagram page, and my Facebook page. Appreciate that. Okay, so again, you see right here where I got the cursor, it's pinned. So every time I write up my speeches, I like to post it on here. Same thing is on Substack. So I post it on there as well. But you just click on here. All right. Oh, my bad. I forgot at the top. So my Medium page, let's say if you don't know how to find it, is Manuel, all up here, manuel.medium.com. Okay, right there. Okay, so again, this is live on YouTube. So right now, this is my pre-recorded part. This is on side A, and on Saturday, this is the time, 2 p.m. American Central Time. Okay, so remember these times, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to come on the show. 3 p.m. Canadian time, 8 p.m. West African time, 9 p.m. South African time, 10 p.m. East African time, and 8 p.m. UK time. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll down. And the reason I'm doing all of that, you just move this stuff out the way. So I'm clicking it off. So I use my laptop. So, some of you might, I don't know what you use, but if you're using your phone, it's not going to be able to hold that much data. So I'm just saying, you might not see all of this on there, but I hope you do. But bottom line, we want to get down at the bottom under where it says show and prove, because that's my receipts. And again, I try to have a mixture where, you can watch videos for those that don't like to read. And also I have articles for those of you that do like to read. But again, I like to back up what I say. I don't just sit up here and just run off at the mouth. So this is the, ladies and gentlemen, quote, it's called America's Collapse is Coming for Black People. And so that's what we're talking about on the show. And I just gave you a brief, from my understanding, that's the major parts of what they were talking about. That's what I got out of the film. So look at that first, and then, you can come on the show. Again, I recommend that you all would, just go through these different things. These are the different, I would say, sources that I use, and issues. A lot of this stuff is stuff that's going on right now, current stuff. But I definitely want you all to check out this about W.E.B. Du Bois warned America in 1915. Please check out that video right here. So that was very on point, and it coincides with a lot of stuff I talk about. Check out this brother that's talking about the 92%. Trying to see what else. Some other stuff that was on here. So just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. Oh yeah, so this is talking about the Ghanaian president, talking about reparations and stuff like that. It's important, but like I say, I want y'all to really hit home on this one right here about Israeli man buys 520 acres of land in Kenya. Now that's not cool at all, ladies and gentlemen, because why you won't buy land in Europe? So see these Europeans. I mean, I'm just saying the ones that's just have just very. It's just ridiculous. I blame the leaders too. Kenyans, you guys, you're gonna have to. You guys just gonna have to hold your leaders accountable. I mean, how come they couldn't get something smaller? And then not have them to own it. They can lease it, and just charge them arm and a leg. But they want to sit up here and just buy up stuff in Africa and stuff. They don't want to go to Europe. So they basically all he's trying to do is he's trying to bring that the Jewish stuff, gonna make Kenya just like what's going on over there in Palestine. And it's not just there; it's in South Africa too. They're letting these foreigners buy land, but I'm just saying specifically Jews. They have a bad history right now. Especially what's going on you know um, in Gaza. That's ridiculous. So it's, to me, that's a turnoff that you know the leaders are sitting up here letting foreigners, especially from that group, they, my goodness, man, that's just horrible. That's just trying to bring conflict on the African continent. But Africa, we got to fight for our continent, doggone it, because we didn't ask these Europeans to come to our continent. They imposed themselves. And yes, that's why a lot of people don't like us, a lot of these other groups, because God is the one that blessed us with the natural resources and minerals. But you guys got to use, all I can say is use Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger as a model. That's what y'all have to do too. Just saying. Them leaders, they'll sell you out. They don't care. They stole my ancestors, into slavery. But that's how come I'm not going to the West Africa right away. I'm going to South Africa first. Get my foot on the what you call that, on the continent, and then eventually move to West Africa. And also, I want y'all to check this out. Wait. No, well, yeah, check this out. He backed apartheid. This is a person from the United States. He's going over to South Africa, trying to dictate to them about breaking ties with BRICS, that they shouldn't apologize about what happened to the leader in Iran, that was killed. Again, that was a war of unprovoked war. Those people. I mean, people are just tired of these white supremacists trying to dictate everything. You know what I'm saying? But at least they invested in their military. So I'm just saying, it's just horrible. These people make life miserable. These white supremacist financial elites again. And I want to just show you this. And the reason I ain't gonna click on it, because if I click on it, then it's not gonna record it, and so you won't see it. So that's how come I'm doing it like this, ladies and gentlemen. But again, I want you to click on that if you want to see it, but it's right here. Black women, 92%, voted for Kamala Harris, and black men, 77%. So see, even back then, back in 2020, 2024, Black people got to get off of that Democrat plantation, because they're those we have to be independent, and that's what I talk about in the book. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I want y'all to look at right here. And also, if Black women, I have a lot of Black women that's on my friends list. Please use that same energy to help me with this film project, because this is to help improve the Black community. If y'all would use that same energy over here for something that's fighting for our own people, that would be helpful. 44. This is this is from Fortune. You can click on there to read the article, but it was just saying again, 44,000 Black women raised 1.5 million for Kamala Harris during her run for president. All I'm trying to raise is 250,000 for a film project, because unfortunately, my book ain't. Black Americans don't want a solution. That's just being real, just keeping it real. That's all. But this is all I've been trying to do for 34 years of my life. Been trying to get this thing off the ground. Read this about benign and neglect. This is what we're up against, ladies and gentlemen. Read about this. Look at those links about Memorandum 46. That was during the Carter administration, where they were trying to keep Black Americans and Africans, try to cause division and not have us to work with each other. Yes, the Trump administration might, say that, Africans, they'll make it harder for them to come over here. But they all in Africa. So, and it's just so sad. The leaders over there, and your leaders, a lot of them are puppets. You got to stand up to those puppets and say, hey, look, our family want to eat. You know what I'm saying? You're fighting for your families. So that's all the reason I want to come over there to create jobs, so you can provide for your families. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted y'all to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. I would say look at all of them, doggone it. Look at all the links that I have, because all of this stuff is important. Okay. Again, there's nothing more I can say. I hope that my panelist is going to be able to show up on Saturday. I mean, a lot of people in here just playing games. I don't get a lot of likes and all that kind of stuff, but hey, it is what it is. I'm standing on Black business. But one thing for sure, once I'm able to get this film project fully funded and made, and that will put me, the proceeds from that film will put me in a better position financially, so I can hire people. That's all I'm trying to do. Bring it over to the African continent. And for us, I would say as Black Americans and African Native Africans, we have to work together. But again, I'm screening everybody, even on the African continent. Though we want to separate ourselves from the people that don't mean us any good in our own racial group. Just because they're melanated don't mean jack. Obama, he's melanated, That man didn't do a doggone thing. Was the biggest sellout. And so that's what opened up my eyes. And so I'm just trying to do something, trying to build something positive and productive, and that's going to be beneficial for the next generation. With that being said, that's going to conclude this part of the show. And so come back on Saturday if you're serious about being a part of this. Let's make that happen. If you want to debate me, bring it on. Because I have nothing to hide. All I'm trying to do is get this thing off the ground. I come with receipts. That's going to conclude what I have to say for right now. Side A is done. We're going to do side B on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and blessings.